Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at what I consider to be the best sleeves for your 10th edition Leviathan objective decks. Now I got asked a lot about this during Leviathan week as we started playing with tactical objectives, and when you are playing with tactical objectives you are going to put a lot of wear and tear on your decks. This is a question that came up too with the TO and sort of like 40k folks seminar that I was in, talking about the Leviathan Grand Tournament pack, where card marking could become a thing. All those questions about like, how is someone going to cheat to win? And I mean, some of that's legitimate. There was like a whole thing with weighted dice at a 40k tournament recently in the UK, so I guess that is a valid thing. I've used a lot of tarot-sized card decks before for various miniature games. Obviously, I've played a ton of miniature games where these are required. There was a lot of tarot-sized decks for Malifaux recently. Also, all of the unit cards for the tarot-sized units in A Song of Ice and Fire. I sleeved those with these same cards. And that's how I discovered them. I discovered them through those games, and it was very handy to have these. And I will say that the thing I like most about them is they're very durable. So if you are looking to find correct size card sleeves and you have a brand you like already, the size for tarot is actually going to be 120 by 70 millimeter is the measurement, and that is the Leviathan card size. And the company that I like sleeves from the most for this, having used a bunch of different ones, is Board Game Sleeves. They're available through major retailers. They're also available, I believe, through Amazon if you don't have a major retailer near you and you're looking to sleeve these cards. Now, there's also a secondary reason to do this if you want to sleeve your cards, is they've already printed or published in that Grand Tournament pack a addendum and errata for certain cards, and that means that you could print that out, cut them out, and put them in the sleeves with that card. Now, some people might argue that that will change the thickness of the cards. You could identify it, but if you're just printing on standard printer paper, the card sleeves themselves are thicker than that. You're not going to feel the ones that have that versus the ones that don't, and the backings will be the same, so it shouldn't be an issue. I would recommend doing that just so you don't accidentally screw up rules if they do addendum some of these. Now the packs come with 50 cards, and the Leviathan deck is 66 cards, so you may want to pick up 2 of these if you decide you want to get them. Most of the tarot-sized sets of cards will be 50 cards, but I'm going to show you in a second why you may or may not actually need all 50 cards if you're just going to be playing by yourself, and if you don't use all 50 cards, then you can fit them nicely in the box they come with. So I'll show you the card sleeves actually on the Leviathan deck, and you can see how this looks. So here they are, the tarot size sleeves from Board Game Sleeves. I almost picked this box up a bunch of times to show you guys in that initial like spiel that I just gave you, and then realized it's the exact same color as my green screen, and I would have been picking up nothing and waving it around. It would have looked like absolutely nothing in my hand. As for those of you that don't realize I'm sitting in front of a green screen, that's why it's the logo every time. And this is the package. You can see it's already a little bit unglued because I've always put a lot of miles on it for the Leviathan deck. And then because I had some left over from other games, I picked up 1 new box, and then my leftovers allowed me to do all 66 cards. I only needed 16 extra ones, and I hadn't sleeved a ton. I do still have a few left over. Now, I like these because of the relatively matte finish. The matte finish also increases their thickness slightly, and the edges on these are really good. So one of the things you notice, and I will try and rec one here so you can see, the most common fail point for card sleeves is these edges, and if you do a rip test like this where you like really push on them, cheap penny sleeves will rip right along this seam because it's just heat sealed. And I'm doing my best. So you can see I'm actually like, I mean, I got big Canadian wood chopping hands. I'm doing my best to actually rip these, and the seam, the actual plastic is going to fail before the seam does. It looks like with me trying to rip that heat seal. I cannot seem to get it to, oh no, there, I finally got it to go. That took a lot of effort to get that seam to pop, and you can see here I actually ended up like almost ripping through the basic plastic to get that to go. Now you're not going to get that level of wear and tear through just shuffling these cards. So they are nice and tough. Again, I don't think I can even do this side. I tried. I'm really going at it now. There we go, I finally got it to pop. It takes a lot to actually wreck these, whereas like a penny sleeve, if I just put the barest bit of friction on it and like push against it, it's just gonna pop right open. This question I got asked is, do these cards, when they're sleeved, still fit inside of the Leviathan box? The answer is yes, but not all of them. When you take the objectives out, these will still fit inside, you can see, but the additional thickness of the cards means you're not gonna get all 66 cards back in. But that's okay, because you actually don't need, if you're playing this as a single player pack, you don't need all these cards. My recommendation would be that first of all, if you're playing casual with a friend, yes, get 2 packs because you want to be able to split this between 2 people and have it all sleeved and ready to play. If you're taking this to a tournament, what I would do instead is, because these 2 decks for Attacker and Defender are identical, there's 20 cards in the Objective and Gambit deck, so that's 40 between these 2. There is 12 cards in the mission rules, there is 5 cards in the deployment rules, and 9 cards in the primary mission pool. If you're playing Leviathan tournaments though, you don't need Sites of Power because it isn't used, and you only need 4 actual mission rules of the 12. So that's going to cut out already 8-9 cards from the deck, right? So we're down from 66 to 57 cards. If you cut out an additional 16, right, you're down to 41, right? Only 41 cards in the deck. So if I was going to a tournament, what I would do is I would just sleeve the cards I was planning on using. And again, you don't even need to sleeve these necessarily if you're not going to shuffle them. I would, just to keep them safe. I would sleeve 1 tactical deck, and then I would sleeve both of the Gambit decks, and I would use the Gambit decks to remember if I was Attacker Defender. I would just pick the one that was the color I'm supposed to be, because these are identical. These are identical decks of cards. It doesn't really matter which color you have. You just need to know for deployment purposes, red or green, which of these 2 things you are, and you can have your Gambit decks to do it. So right there, that's only going to be 24, right? 28, 33 plus 8 is 41 cards. And the rest of this stuff you can pack up and leave at home, and that will fit inside the Leviathan card box. You have it with lots of room to spare, which means you could even put in your objective markers if you want and take them with you. You've got a complete tournament set of Leviathan cards out of 1 of these board game sleeves tarot decks. If you want to grab 2, perfect, but you're typically, if you're going to be playing pickup games using this format, and most people who are going to care about sleeving these cards, that's the kind of game we're playing, right? Like, I'm making this video to try and speak to the people that are very concerned about protecting these decks and are probably going to get the most use out of them, quite frankly. You've got more than enough space in here to carry just the cards you need. And the rest of these can stay at home. And you've got all of the required information from the current tournament pack in a single sleeve deck that's going to be protected. And these sleeves will last you forever. You'll have spares, right? You'll have like 10-ish spares. And lots of, and you can even leave, actually, you could even put those in there if you need them, if you get damage to your sleeves or anything like that. And you've got exactly what you need to go and play the game. So these are my favorites. These are the ones I used. You asked plenty about them. And again, this is not an endorsement. I'm not being paid to talk about these, or they weren't sent to me for free. Like, I just buy these at the game store. They're my favorite non-glare, hard-wearing cleared styrene sleeves. And the ones that I would recommend if you're going to be playing Leviathan. Or any of the other games I said. They're great for Malifaux. They dry erase just fine. They're also great for Song of Ice and Fire with the constant updates. If you are using your cards and not using the app, then you can throw the new printed rules in there. And actually the same for Leviathan. You can throw the printed rules in there and not be able to tell the difference between the ones that have the additional paper in them and not.
So there you go, another GMG review, and I think, honestly, your mileage may vary with these because, obviously, I'm speaking from getting these in North America. I do believe they are from Europe or the UK, so you probably will have them available over there too. But depending on where you are in the world, you may have your favorite card game sleeves that are of a similar sort of quality. Tell us all about them in the comments because I'd like everybody to be able to find their locally available tarot-sized cards if they want to sleeve them and get ready to play. These are ones that work best for me and obviously are available locally to me, and I believe the UK and US as well will have easy access to these, so I highly recommend them. But if you don't have access to them and you've got a better alternative for your locale, shout it out in the comments, give them a link, and give them some free props so they can check it out, and people can get what they want to play their games, not wreck their cards, and of course sleeve all those updates that I'm sure are always going to be continuously coming to this objective deck, as there will be a lot of people playing this game. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews. Till then, I'm Ash. Have a great night. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them.
If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Desperate Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.